Yo, what it is, it's the Creek Boys, and you're locked in with the Vibe Perspective Podcast. Every day I'm with Vibe Perspective.
Yo, what it do, family? It's your favorite host, MikeOnTheMic from the Vibe Perspective Podcast, keeping the vibe alive till the wheels fall off. And look, we're here. Hip hop and politics collide. That's what we do at Vibe Perspective Podcast. Here, season 3, we always want to bring something new, something fresh, something interesting to the table when we're having these discussions, having these talks. And man, we are here downtown in Baltimore, and look, a true MC, true dope guy all around came and pulled up on us. We got Shaw Calhoune in the building. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a pleasure sitting down with you. Shout out to Big Eleanor Records, Danny No. Shout out to Danny No. Friends of the show. I'm glad we got to connect again, and it's in Black History Month. It's like the best time to connect, you know what I'm saying? Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month to all my viewers too. I want to definitely, tap in with that, because I don't say that as often. I feel like when we do shows in February, I don't say Happy Black History Month. I got to top off every show we doing this month. Happy Black History Month to start it off right, just to get the energy.
Black History Month, it's quick as shit.
It's the shortest month, it's crazy. And the coldest month, it was like 13 degrees yesterday. It's insane. Insane. I'm gonna get that fixed in Congress. Don't worry, don't worry, leave it to me. Alright, man, so new project, Fly Langston.
Yeah.
Man, what's the timeline looking like for the release of this project?
It's on exclusively on Bandcamp right now.
Exclusively on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Are you looking to put it on other streams?
Yeah, we're going to put it on stream soon.
Okay. Soon.
Yeah. Give it like another week on Bandcamp, we'll put it on that major streaming platform soon.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And I'm looking forward to that full onslaught of that release, that full rollout.
Yes.
And man, look, I already had the pleasure of listening to the album, and I definitely encourage people to go to Bandcamp and tap into it right now, and not wait until it gets to the streaming platforms. You want to get that good music, so have it in your own library. I think that's the best way to have music and enjoy music. So first of all, the project, since I got to listen to it, the project is fire. Listened to it maybe 5 or 6 times so far.
Cool.
And I think, during our last conversation, I asked, what was the transition between Goat Cheese to My Regards? We spent a lot of time talking about Goat Cheese. We love the album. Everybody in the project. Of course, you've seen the video. The project was fire. We loved the beats, and we wanted to see what the next steps were. Were going to be. My Regards was like a great follow up, I think.
Right.
So, what's the journey from My Regards to Fly Langston now? What's that journey look like?
It was a smooth journey, to be honest with you, but pretty much it was a challenge that was given to me. I gracefully accepted it, you know what I'm saying? Mainly with this album, it's more community based, you know what I'm saying, on a positive aspect, you know what I'm saying? Figuring out how to push the, the culture forward, you know what I'm saying, in a good direction.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And also on the other side, it's like an ode to the old Harlem Renaissance. Yeah, Mike said he was being one of the pioneers or the forefathers of that era, so we pretty much gave it an ode to him and Harlem Renaissance.
Yeah, definitely. And that shows. I feel like just from the beginning, you automatically get stooped right into the Renaissance era, that feeling. And I remember, Fly Langston was an idea, a concept you guys were talking about before,
right.
When we last met, and to see that come out exactly how you guys explained it to me, was super dope and inspiring, so.
Definitely executed.
Yeah. That execution is important,
Right.
Ideas come into life.
Oh, yeah, to the team who me and Danny work with, you know what I'm saying? That's Big Rock to John Smith, my guys over at Kaleidoscope Records.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Kaleidoscope, man. Man, I absolutely, for this project, I love, how it just opens up, how you get right to the raps. I love that. That's my favorite, that's one of my favorite things to start an album or a project or a mixtape or anything. If an artist, really can, I love to hear 5 seconds in, we right into the rapping,
right.
No cut cards. And you have these ethereal sort of, jazzy beats, and it puts you right in the center of it.
And a lot of my projects, I like doing that, especially on the intro. You know what I'm saying? If you can tell. A pattern in the intro, to just go right in. And get right to rapping.
I love it, man. Where does that come from? Was that just sort of
Nah, it wasn't a natural thing. It was like a fan. You know, some other rappers who did such. Pretty much it was like getting my opportunity. Definitely want to knock it out the park.
Absolutely, as you should. You should swing.
I feel like that's important, grabbing the listener's attention. You know what I'm saying? Right away.
Off top.
Yeah,
definitely. And I think we're in that perfect time now where everything is about attention grabbing. And you want to hit the ground running. You want to get something that's super interesting off top, so that they are staying around and seeing what you have next, and what you have more to offer. Like, oh, this is cool, this is dope. So yeah, shout out to you for having that like thought process, because a lot of artists, I think, it's important to have these like complex sort of decision-making processes you have with your project or whatever art you have or produce. Also shout out to Four Limbs too, who produced everything on this project. These beats, man.
He's really a mastermind, man. Shout out to
These beats, everything. What was the process behind this production? Were you working alongside with him, or was it like a pack sort of situation?
For a while, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much between like the Goat Cheese and a lot of guys' releases. He always comment, you know what I'm saying? He like to tell you like which favorite song he likes. And then he just asks that when he working on next, like that might be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
I just let him in on what we was working on and what direction we was going. We mainly like, jazz samples and jazz beats and like that whole type of vibe. So give him about a couple of weeks and he just came through with a batch. We pretty much just chose from there.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely understood the assignment, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, like even the DJ scratches were fire. Like I love that accompaniment with your style of rapping, and then to put that like over jazz beats was just like, it was like multi-layered for me because I'm like a hip hop nerd.
Shout out to DJ Scruff, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out, man.
His name, my guy out Philly.
Oh,
Philly,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Big shout out Philly, man.
Yeah, sure.
Man. So I also want to talk about sort of, like you mentioned, like, Langston Hughes, like literary master, like, like dude is insane, in just not even just in poems. Like the poems are gripping, but every one of his works were, just beautiful. I think, I love Langston Hughes. I love the Harlem Renaissance, like that era of the 20s, and growing up and like sort of what that led to up into the 60s, and we see like that, that galvanization of that, unity in Black people, and his life, Langston Hughes' life and work, were enormously important in influencing sort of how the Renaissance sort of molded itself. Like 100 years later, we're in 2023, how do you see sort of this project in that framework of like possibly being in the beginning of a new Renaissance today?
Right. I think I definitely can see that, like pretty much being an usher in for a new Renaissance.
Yeah.
Because mainly, like the main thing is, it's like just be yourself. Just be yourself. And also by being yourself, always give credit to the ones like who did it before you. So
Definitely.
that's pretty much one of like the two things we understand.
Yeah, 100%. And that's, I think that's something I hear a lot from people who have figured it out, later.
Right.
I interview a lot of people, specifically like artists, and I've come across a few younger artists who have the idea of like, oh, all the audience are against me, they're all jealous, they all want to, stop me from growing, they all want to, hinder my success. And I mean, to be fair, people exist who are like that, who are jealous, who don't want you to, succeed. But I think there are so many OGs who are willing to, look back and give back. But it takes what you just said. It takes like paying that homage forward. It's like respecting what you've done and being able to receive that gem, that one thing that's really gonna help me. So like, in terms of that, like, have you seen, like, what is your experiences with like that, like, paying homage and possibly getting, a return from someone who has done it before you?
Well, just in life in general.
In life in general?
Yeah,
Okay.
how I conduct myself in handle, so. It wasn't
Good skill.
It wasn't like anybody famous one. It was just a, average old man, he pretty much paid attention when I do on the daily, so he just gave me my flowers just simply off that, so.
Yeah.
That's gratifying itself to answer your question.
Definitely. My regards rings a little bit there. Man, so, okay, like the Renaissance, I think another thing that I associate when I think about the Renaissance is like this sense of collaboration, like I said, that unity, and I think maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, you took a piece of that for your project and having these collaborations for other artists.
Yeah.
So talk to me about these looks you had with, I think, Sir Dominique, what is his last name? Sir Dominique Jordan? Sir Dominique Jordan, as well as
Barry Mars.
100%, I was right there. Barry Mars. Shout out to Barry Mars and Sir Jordan. For these two collaborations, talk to me about sort of your thought process behind those and how these even came to happen.
Pretty much with House Sparrows Feather, that's the one featuring Barry Mars. That just came about by me just listening to the beat. I was like, this definitely sounds like something that Barry can get on, because I've been a fan of his music for about a while. And we built up rapport through Instagram, talking through DMs and whatnot. So when the beat that came about, I reached out to him, gave him a direction, and he pretty much followed in suit. And then Dominic Jordan, that was a friend to me when I got Ben Roth. Over at Kaleidoscope. You know what I'm saying? Them two pretty much had some type of bond. And we were looking for poets at the time. We had one poet, but it didn't work out as planned. That stuff happens.
Always.
So we was in search of a poet. So my guy Ben Roth recommended me to him. So he came by the studio that same day and wrote the poem right then and there, and just aced it in the booth.
Smoked it, for sure. Like I like the poetic element of this project. I think. When we think about the Renaissance, we think about Langston Hughes, like poetry, and so it goes hand in hand. It's one and the same. But also the two records in between, I call it the poem a feature, but in the two records in between your two features, like caught my attention as well. Like Killer Diller Code and Full Hunter. Like those beats, first of all, Four Limbs. I don't know what you're drinking in the studio, bro, but I need a cup or two. Man, insane. Some of my favorite records, and we hear the J samples as well. Like where do you put J, in discussing your approach to your records?
Oh no, that was just something they used in the chorus.
It was just a quick thing.
It was something that he could put on. So I knew the song, where to get it from, and all that stuff. Pretty much, it was just a meaning of hitting the scruff to see if we could fit it in there. It took him a couple tries, but he was able to get it down pat.
He got it down pat, for sure.
Yes,
Do you? I hate to ask. I always, interview artists, and I hate asking what's your top 5. But where do you put Jay in terms of your hierarchy?
He's in my top 6.
Top 6?
Top 6.
Is he number 6?
Yeah, he's number 6.
Okay. Do you have it on the top of your head? Because I kind of want to ask you a 1 through 5.
For 1 through 5, it's Nas, Raekwon,
Rakim. Thank you.
Inspector Deck, and Jadakiss. You know what I'm saying? The honorable mentions. You know what I'm saying? Ghostface, Scarface, Coogee Rap.
Definitely.
Yeah,
100%. I hate when I hear people's top 5s, even top 10s, and they don't put Rakim in it, because I think it's just disrespectful. Like how long he ran hip hop. It's insane. Neither here nor there. I don't want to get into a top 5 conversation because that's gonna last a while. But I definitely, like I said, like you spazzed on Full Hunter. Like Full Hunter was insane,
Appreciate it.
man. And I think if I remember correctly, I think you said, like when you were doing like Go Cheese and My Regards, like you did them in a short collection of days.
Yeah, I pretty much aced this one like in a weekend span.
Okay.
So when I did the major locals like that Friday, and then I finished it up like with the doubles and triples and like that Saturday. So pretty much was like that, 7 tracks. You know what I'm saying? With 6 tracks, me included. You know what I'm saying? All me on it.
Yeah, definitely. What's your methodology behind it? Is that like something like that's an intention of yours? Like go in and go out and be quick with it and sort of...
Not quick, it's just like pretty much just like highly focused and take one song at a time. You know what I'm saying? So I just take one song at a time. And just happen so I finish like what I recorded, so that's great, that's kudos, but it's always like take your time with it, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I don't rush at all.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely don't feel that when I hear these records, you're rushing at all, especially like in the content of it, right? Like, it seems to me that you're putting some effort behind like these bars and like making sure that you're getting a theme, or a certain point across. And just like Jay, since we mentioned Jay, like, you have that intentionality behind your records, behind your projects. And especially like your project titles, I think I talked about last time, I try to, and I do this every time, and I feel like I'm gonna try to do this every time that I talk to you, but I want to get the method, well, at least the idea behind the themes of the track titles, because they're usually connected. So like if you go down 1 through 7, it's like buttoned up, and I look like, I think like a shirt, like an actual literally button up shirt. I mean, you could.
Or a sports shirt.
Like a shirt that you button up. House Sparrow's feather, I'm thinking of the feather you put in the brim of the joint. You know what I mean? Killer Diller coat, which is, it's funny because I actually recognized Killer Diller already from I think it was an old like Harlem film, like 1948 film. And I'm a huge movie buff, so like my peoples had Like the whole thing, like the whole.
You on the money right now.
Like you know what I'm saying? And I've pictured the coats they were wearing, like that, that real 20s Harlem, little lapels, little accents. I pictured that instantly. And then Full Hunter, which I actually had to look up because I didn't know exactly what it was, but from the song I was like, oh, he's going hunter mode. Country Spaz so crazy. But no, I realized it was a style of a pocket watch.
Yes.
Which is also the accompaniment to like the sort of, we're building the entire outfit now.
Yeah, the zoot suit, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then at the jazz club session, like jazz and Harlem, it's like hand in hand. And then, scarlet stained leathers, you got the sneakers. I mean, not sneakers, but at that time they were probably, dress shoes, you know what I mean? For today, it'll probably be sneakers. And then, but I do want to ask, for track 7, the Black and White Bird's Eye, I do want to know sort of what that title means from your perspective, and I'll give a shot, of course, from my perspective. I always got to try. Because I'm a hip-hop fan, I got to try. And so if I were to just break it down, Black and White Bird's Eye, I feel like if I think of a bird's eye, I think like a sort of a looking overview of something, right? And then I hear black and white. And in the 20s, or like the Harlem Renaissance, it's like all of this, racial, terror, all of the, terror campaigns, KKK, all this stuff. And in the country, it was mostly black and white, for the most part, like 98% black and white, and now we're talking about bird's eyes and, sort of a perspective. So it's like a black and white perspective of sort of what you're looking at.
Got it.
And in the Harlem. And also, just for this interview, I also grabbed a photo of Harlem in black and white of a bird's eye view. Bird's Eye Harlem, 1920.
Okay.
Just for this interview.
Okay.
This is what it would look like.
You were close. Close. But like, back to like the relating of the suit.
Yeah.
The black and white bird's eye. That's like that's a type of stitching. The bird's eye is a type of stitching. Black and white. That pretty much lets you know the color of the entire suit. The suit.
Okay. So it's an entire ensemble of clothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's so dope that you, like I said, you have this intentionality behind the titling of your records, and it's always like something interesting. I think, shout out to you for your thought process. How did you even come up with sort of putting that together for this album?
Just research. You know what I'm saying? Me and my guy, Daddy Nono, we do research.
Okay, shout out to Danny Nono. He's probably a whiz on the keyboard. Man, definitely, that's so dope. And like I mentioned before, intentionality is important. Intentionality is always present in your projects. And there was one thing that you conveyed a lot during the project, which is like sort of the state of Black America. What is your take off wax, sort of the state of Black America?
I don't know. I feel like since COVID happened, like we just had a standstill, just figuring out what's happening or what's going to happen next. You know what I mean? It's like everything is just on pause, even still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like COVID and pandemic or whatnot, I mean, nothing really hasn't really jumped off. I mean, there's like a lot of happening, like events that took place.
Sure.
Terrorists storming the Capitol.
Man, exactly. Terrorists. That's exactly what they are.
Very much so. Very much so. The whole vaccine, so it's pretty much like a standby.
Definitely. I think that's interesting too. It's like this a little fact. I think what was it? It was about 2-3 years ago. We were really into COVID, like in the middle of COVID. Like a year prior to that, there was an article that came out that said I think Black America was reaching zero wealth by 2053. Right. That was like I think 2019-ish, 2018-ish. COVID happened. Now where are we? I think that's something nobody answered.
Right.
It's like, if anything, it accelerated that path for, Black America. But also, I think, just to see that, it got hit the hardest, like Black people got hit with COVID the hardest and are still sort of dealing with that now and the effects of that, or with,
And a lot of it that happens off of like, before even COVID even happened.
Yeah.
You already had illness like diabetes.
Definitely.
Lupus. Cancer, you know what I'm saying? Then you add COVID to it, that pretty much just wiped them out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us suffered from that.
Definitely. My family, has our scares with COVID. I hope everyone in your family is okay, and that everyone in your circle is doing well, because I know that this is real. Like, people die off of just getting COVID, but like you said, people have diabetes, people have heart problems, people have liver problems, and that compounded with COVID is just like super deadly. And I think that's important. I think there's a saying, it's like anytime there's a storm that hits America, Black America gets hit with a tsunami or like a hurricane. Because it's going to hit us a lot more closely, than a lot of people. And that's due to, poverty, due to systemic issues, due to things that sort of position us perfectly
Right.
to get hit the hardest.
Jobs too as well.
Jobs, exactly.
Got laid off because of that.
100%. I think, in a gig economy now where you have to have 2 or 3, maybe 4 jobs just to sustain,
Right.
What is that? How does that affect you? And that you're just left to win. Another theme I think, or another event that happened in Black America was like the killing of Tyree Nichols. That was a huge thing that just happened, brutally murdered by the police. How did you process the news when you heard it?
I'm a little bit late to the show, but like pretty much by the time I caught on, I got like the full story, like the whole origin behind it. I believe Nichols, the guy, he was dating one of the cops' officers, like ex-girlfriend or something like that.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's behind all jealousy. That was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They let it all go to 6 police officers.
Probably it's closer to like 20, but like it was only mainly like
I know, I saw
the few people that like the 6 or 7 that touched them, but they were all there, and it's crazy. It's and just to piggyback on that, I think if anything, the one thing you should take away from this, and rest in peace Tyree Nichols, by the way, before I even continue, God please rest his soul and heal his family. But I think one of the biggest things that I took away that I think so many should is like, how do we have a system such that you could take out your aggression from jealousy onto someone and believe you have impunity? To me, it's not just like, oh, I'm jealous you was messing with the girl I'm interested in, so I'm just going to push you or punch you or kick you. It's like, I'm going to brutally beat you until you can't stand and then not give you medical attention. It's insane, and I'm like, what institution allows you to do that with impunity? And the thing is, I think being a bunch of black officers, it's much easier to prosecute, much easier to make the national standard. Like, oh, we're going to make an example now. When there's been 30, 50, 100, 300 other examples of this prior that we've never done that. I think it's interesting, and this tells us how bad the system of policing is if you didn't know, but black people know so very closely.
Shit is horrible. You know what I'm saying?
We've known this for a long time, but now you're seeing it with your own eyes for everyone else. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways. You're like, yo, you got to see it for what we've been saying to you this last X amount of years. It's been a long time. And, I think police systems kill people. It doesn't matter the race of the officers. I think that was another conversation about them being all black. Like, it doesn't matter the race of the officers when the system is training them to do this to people, And, in fact, we have so many people confused about, just that dynamic of having black officers. And I think a system like this just needs to be, completely reworked. If we start from a bad place, we can't suggest that it's getting to a better place if we don't do some sort of oversight, injection, intervention, whatever you want to call it.
Definitely change the training or however they do their routine. Definitely needs to change.
Definitely.
And they need to do like a test, like an IQ test.
For sure.
So see what they're dealing with, because it's getting out of hand.
100%. I think that's, man, like, how long does it take you to be a lawyer versus how long does it take you to be a police officer? Both people have to interpret the law.
Right.
They have to understand it more than the average person, more than a civilian. You have to understand that. But your police training is probably like 9 months. You got to go to school for 6 years to be a lawyer, and that's a pretty shitty lawyer. You're not even a great one. And that's the thing. I think we have to really rework that entire system. And I think just to go from that, there was also the talk of Cop City. I don't know if you've heard about that. But Cop City is actually, I think, the result of not dealing with the police system after the likes of like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Rekia Boyd, and moving up until today where it's just been unchecked. And now we have corporations who are putting money, dumping millions of dollars into building a very vastly large police training facility. And the training facility, quote unquote, I'll give you a little bit of insight on it. Yeah, so Cop City, for all those who don't know, Cop City is a 381-acre development that's completely going through right now in Atlanta, and the plans include a military-grade training facility, a mock city to practice urban warfare, dozens of shooting ranges, and a Black Hawk helicopter landing pad. $60 million in corporate funding, $30 million used from Atlanta tax dollars. Insane. They're practically trying to create a facility that can train police to be more, I guess, aggressive, more, military-based, to, pretty much be in the cities and be little, little military officers. And I think that's important because, you know, we're talking about police, we're talking about sort of reforming the police, and that's the biggest conversation nowadays. Of like, what do we do now after seeing them kill people, after seeing them, you know, grossly, you know, overuse their power, and then steal all the funding from practically the entire state. Anywhere you go, the police are going to pay the most. If you look at the budget, you break it down. Anywhere. That's in any state, any city, period. How do we justify now putting more money into the police and building more things after we see, you know, a system that allowed the Tyree Nichols to be killed?
Right. I mean, if we're adding money into the situation, we should at least have a say so, like about, you know what I'm saying, redefining or revamping pretty much the system and making it better, making more of an equal opportunity between the cop and the regular patron.
Definitely.
The everyday patron.
Definitely. The police is the police, right?
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's one of the biggest things I would like to see of like, how can we as citizens really have oversight for the police? You know, I think body cam should always be on. I don't think you should be able to turn it off. It's like so many things I would do, you know, but I'm not the police commissioner. I'm not, you know, the governor or the mayor. You know, so, but I think that's important to know. So anyone who doesn't know about Cop City, anyone who doesn't, you know about, you know, what led up to it, please look it up. It's really important, and you will have to deal with it sooner or later. You'll probably also have to deal with that ban in Florida for AP African American Studies, but neither here nor there. You mentioned January 6th and, like, you know, the terrorists storming the Capitol. You know, I remember watching that, and I was like, bro, where are the guns? You know, like, where are the AK-47s, the AR-15s, the big heavy arsenal that they would meet us with for just peacefully protesting? Where are they? They weren't there. What did you take, you know, when you seen, you know, that insurrection at the Capitol? He stormed the Capitol. What did you take of it?
Well, my first initial thought was like Trump definitely like sent him over there, or at least got him riled up pretty much to go over there.
100%.
And then, you know what I'm saying, then seeing it, it's like, it's just wild. It's just crazy. All because of Trump is getting involved. So, I mean, you just suck it up. I mean, of course, we were sad when Obama was leaving. We didn't do all that.
We didn't storm the Capitol. Yeah, no, for sure, man. It's insane because, like, I'm sure you've seen the videos, but, like, everything they did while they were there, they were, like, defecating on desks, like, stealing, like, documents, like, all types of stuff, right? And it's like, where are the real repercussions? I think and it's insane to even think that the most powerful country in the world allowed for a group to storm their capital city, and specifically the Capitol. Like, it's insane to let that happen, you know, but you did that, and America showed their hand, I think. I think America was like, okay, here, for the rest of the world to see also.
I honestly didn't even think you could storm and get bomb rushed and get that far. Like, I mean.
With one casualty, with one death?
Right.
With one? Like, son. And it was the police officer that, like, he didn't know what was going on.
Right. He didn't have no choice.
Like, right. You know what I'm saying? For all he knew, 30 people got shot already. Like, he was just, you know, one of the 30. No, he was the only one. He damn near protected, like, democracy itself. Like, it was him and the guy with the pepper spray from, like, No Look pepper spray dude. Shout out to him. But yeah, no, it's insane. I love that, you know, you even make mention of that in the album, you know. I want to know, at least from your perspective, and I have my answers for this, of course, but what do you see as some solutions that we can start to look forward to, you know, in the future? Where can we start to build towards to, you know, get a better, you know, Black America, a better state of Black America?
I mean, well, we need to work together, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Stop competing with one another. I think we work together. That's when pretty much, you know, the opposition. That's when they pretty much get all clueless.
Yeah.
Not necessarily clueless, but suspicious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Definitely teamwork makes the dream work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely have to be unified. And I think, you know, just like, you know, we talked about, you know, the Harlem Renaissance and then moving into the 60s, like, that was all it was about.
Right.
You know, that
also
power.
discipline, too, as well. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I think we're lacking a little bit in discipline. You know what I'm saying? After staying strong.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel as though, you know what I'm saying? Being smart, you know what I'm saying? Always, like, use your best judgment at all times. You know what I mean? And think things through. You know what I'm saying? Make every move strategic.
Yeah,
I'll say.
Definitely, 100%, and that's a great thing to to take away from this. Is definitely be strategic, stay unified, stay determined, and, you know, have that discipline to keep, you know, building that foundation. Make small moves, get small victories because they end up equaling, you know, something huge in the end.
Of course.
So man, y'all heard it first, man. The star himself, Shaw Calhoune is here. I appreciate you tapping in with us, bro.
Indeed, man.
Yeah, always a
Thanks for
pleasure.
having me, man.
Always a pleasure. I'm gonna leave you with a secret Baltimore proverb, and that is keep doing what you're doing. I gotta say it. Gotta tell you. Where can the viewers follow you?
You can follow me on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Bandcamp, and then social media. That's IG, Facebook, and Twitter.
Okay. Definitely tap in, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, and for more hip hop content, make sure you keep it locked to the Vibe Perspective Podcast. And we are out of here. Peace.
Peace.